I did have a good time. I was row 1, section 135. Shouts out to Dwayne Wade for coming through, selling me his. Okay, I'm not gonna say the price or how much money I made or sold him for. Dwayne has a suite at SoFi, Dwayne and Gab Union, and I guess when you're season ticket holders, the NFL buys all the suites for the Super Bowl. I'm finding all this out this year because it's the first year I ever really wanted to go to the Super Bowl. Because I've been invited in the past, had an opportunity to go, but I said I'm never going to go unless the Bengals go. So it just so happened it was this year. So I guess how it works is Dwayne had a suite, Gab's got a suite, and I guess he bought the tickets months ago for the Super Bowl because the NFL buys a suite. So I guess they offered to sell him 8 tickets. So he bought the tickets before he even knew who was in the Super Bowl. What I've been told is Ashton Kutcher wanted to buy the 8 tickets. And then when he decided he didn't want to go because he's a Bears fan, I guess, and they weren't going, Dwayne had promised him to Ashton. And all Dwayne's people had said, yo, once the Bengals went, they was like, you got to offer at least 2 tickets to Gary. You got to. Because everybody knows I'm diehard. Even in the dark years, I was diehard. I've had this thing since a year and a half ago when they really stunk. When Finley was the quarterback. That's when that thing got delivered. This ball thing over here, this that sticks, got that when they were terrible. So I appreciate Dwayne's people and Dwayne thinking of me right off the bat because when the Bengals beat the Chiefs, I had, and I'm not lying, I saved it because I couldn't believe it. I had 168 text messages within 30 minutes after the Bengals beat the Chiefs. And then, of course, people's FaceTiming and calling. So Roxy was in the suite for the Rams 49ers game, NFC title game. So she's the one that FaceTimed me, and that's when I saw Dwayne and Gab, and shouts out to my girl Chantel and all these other people. And they were so hyped about us going to the Super Bowl because they knew I was the first person they thought of. So Dwayne said, Chantel called Dwayne's right hand and was like, yo, Dwayne's got 8. How many do you want? And I said, can I buy all 8? She said, yeah. And it was a lot of money, obviously, if you know how much Super Bowl tickets go for at SoFi. So I bought all 8, not knowing what I was going to do with the 8, but I said, I'm just going to get all 8 and hopefully I'll make my money back or something else. So what I did was I asked my son to go. He couldn't make it. So I asked another friend to go. And then I thought the right thing to do, since Chantel was the one that brokered everything, got Dwayne on the phone and thought of me and everything else, I thought it was the right thing to do was to invite her to go. So I said, I invited Chantel, and I said, you can have 2 tickets, Chantel. And I was hoping I could make my money back off the 4 tickets left. So I told Chantel, bring your husband, but if your husband can't go, I'd really like you to bring Lindsay Falk. Lindsay Falk was funny as Marshall Falk's ex-wife. Of course, everybody knows Marshall Falk used to play for the Rams. So Lindsay ended up going with Chantel, and I told Lindsay and Chantel, I don't care who you root for, you will not be wearing Rams colors. If I'm leaving you first row tickets, I wanted that whole corner we was at to be orange and black. So I sold 2 of the tickets to my buddy TC, a promoter out of Cincinnati. And then the other 2, I was having a hard time selling because I was like, I had a lot of people flaking. They said, yeah, they wanted them, but then obviously didn't have the money because they were pricey and everything. So I ended up just putting them on Ticketmaster and said, wonder we can make for them. And I used Ticketmaster's suggested price, which was a lot. Less than 48 hours later, I sold the other 2 tickets. So I ended up making my money back and made a little bit. I could have made a lot if I wouldn't have did the right thing, invited Chantel and Lindsay, but I'm so glad they went. Those are the homegirls. But if I would have had just sold 6, God, I would have made a killing. But selling 4, I made my money back off buying 8. And I was so curious as to who bought the other 2. What ended up being these 2 guys, it looked like a father-son, and I don't want to be like a little kid, like the son looked like in his 20s or 30s, and the dad looked like in his 50s or 60s. But they were clearly from another country. I want to say Australia, but I get my accents mixed up. Once you get outside of the U.S., I know what a Mexican accent is. I know what a Canadian accent is. That's it, an American. That's it. I don't know outside of that. It gets all confusing to me. I wanted to talk to them and thank them, but they watched the game, but they weren't loyal to any team. It's like they were just watching. And I think they were just here in America, or they made a special trip to go to the Super Bowl. I don't know, but I appreciate them buying those tickets because I made my money back because of those two gentlemen right there.